Today I'm going to be showing you how to lay out a pattern on your fabric and get it straight with the grain line. So let's get started. Okay, I have my fabric here. I've washed my fabric, dried it, and then I pressed it with the iron. Always want to wash your fabric because you want to, number one, you want to shrink it down. It's going to shrink, and you don't want to make your garment and then have it shrink. And then secondly, there's chemicals involved with processing the fabric, so you want to get those chemicals out as well. So I have my pattern. We're going to be making the pajama pants, and according to the back of my pattern, I needed 2 7/8 yards of fabric, and I have that here. My fabric is 44 inches wide here. And I'm going to take, according to the layout of the pattern, inside the pattern has the layout. I'm going to take the selvage edges, those are the finished edges of the fabric, and I'm going to put the right sides together. Now, as you're talking about fabric, this is a little floral print that I have, and when you're choosing your fabric, you want to take a couple of considerations. One is your fabric a one-way design? And here is some fabric that has a one-way design. In other words, all of the elephants are facing in the same direction. So when I cut out my pattern, I want to be careful to lay the pajama pant pattern piece along the fabric so that the elephants won't be upside down on my legs of my pajamas. So you have to be careful about layout with that. But this pattern on this fabric is an all-over design, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to take my selvages and I'm going to lay them down together. And I want to make sure that I don't have any wrinkles down at the bottom. That would mean if I had drag lines, let me show you. If I didn't line my fabric up right, I would get these wrinkles here at the bottom. And so I would know that it's not straight. So I'm going to just straighten it up until it lays flat. And I have a long piece, so it's going over the edge. Now I have my fabric laid out, and I'm going to get my pattern out of the pattern envelope. And I have 2 pieces in this pattern. When I get my pattern pieces out, I want to take them to the iron and just press the wrinkles out of the pattern. It will make it lay flatter for us. Okay, so I have them all pressed, and I'm going to take one of my pattern pieces. This is just going to be how I basically do it. I'm not going to show any alterations, and I'm not going to be talking a lot about the pattern itself. I'm just showing you how to do the layout. So you want to pull it down as far as you can so you don't waste a lot of fabric at the top there. And I'm just going to lay it on there, smooth it out. Now I want to line up my grain line. The grain line is this line right here, and it has a marking, grain line, right there on the pattern piece. And I want to make sure that the grain line is completely straight on the fabric. Now how do I do that? I'm going to take my ruler. It's a clear ruler with lines on it, and I'm going to lay it onto the fabric. It doesn't matter what number is on the ruler. I am just putting the line on the fold of the fabric. And then I see up here that the grain line is on one of the other lines. So I'm going to stick a pin in there to hold it. Now I'm going to hold my finger there and my finger here. It doesn't matter what numbers, but I need to get the same lines. And I'm going to move down and I'm going to place that same line on the fold of the fabric. And then here's the line on the ruler, and I need to move my pattern up so that that line is the same. And so now I know that this line is parallel to the entire fabric all the way down. So now I know that my pattern is completely straight on grain on the fabric. And then I am simply going to pin all the way around. You don't need a lot of pins. There are a couple of ways you can cut out your pattern from your fabric. You can use scissors, and I recommend getting the best fabric scissors that you can. It's a good investment and it really will cut the fabric well. As you cut, you're going to be taking a large, opening your scissors. You're going to open your scissors large, and then you're going to take a cut out of the fabric. Now you're not going to want to go all the way down, closed. You want to keep opening them before you get all the way closed. And that is how you cut your fabric. You can go all the way to the top and get rid of that piece. And then you'll come in from the bottom with large cuts. Another way to cut your fabric is by using a rotary cutter. Rotary cutters come in different sizes, and these are two of the sizes. There's a larger size as well. This size would work with thicker fabric. This smaller size is nice because you can go around curves really, really easily. Now, be very, very careful. It's very sharp, and it does take a little bit of practice. Be careful with it. You have to have a mat underneath your fabric. You cannot cut this on a table, or especially your nice dining room table will be completely ruined. But to use this rotary cutter, you just come in, and you want to kind of be very careful where you hold your pattern down, but you just want to kind of guide it along. Make sure that your blade is very sharp and not, used 5 million times. But you can see that it's very accurate and it's very quick. So one of those methods is what you'll use to cut out your fabric. And that's how you lay out your pattern. I hope you enjoyed our lesson today. Have fun laying out your patterns straight on grain, and happy sewing!